me so.
Desserts aren't always right.
But they're so sweet.
Christian Arcand.
What makes you the authority, bro?
Christian and King.
I know what the good is.
Welcome to the goodie room.
Weekdays noon to 3 on ESPN New Hampshire Radio. Streaming live on ESPNNewHampshireRadio.com.
So what? So what? So let's dance.
Now, here's Christian Arcand and Tom King.
Hour number 2, Christian and King, ESPN New Hampshire, streaming live on the ESPN Radio app and on ESPNNHradio.com. My name's Christian Arcand. That is Tom King. So funny, Tom. You'll be streaming live. Well, please aim it that way if that's what's going to be happening.
A couple weeks ago when I was sick. Oh my God.
Okay, don't need to know.
I was floating.
That's.
I was floating. I had so much water in my system.
Gross.
I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about just a lot of water.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah. Well, you got to stay hydrated.
Waterlogged.
It's very important.
I followed Sensabella's thing. Oh, drink a lot of water. You drink a gallon of water a day, you'll be fine. You'll get rid of it in no time. I drank a gallon of water a day. The thing lasted 3 weeks.
Maybe he was trying to keep you sick. Maybe water's actually the worst thing that could possibly happen when you have a cold like that.
Who knows?
Or whatever you had.
I don't know.
We still don't even really know what you had. The Boston Red Sox will try and avoid a sweep tonight. Brandon Workman getting the start. He will be opposed by someone named Travis Wood for the Chicago Cubs, who has a 7-6 record and an ERA of just over 4.5. Workman 1-1 with an ERA of 3.27. But at this point, I'm just really struggling for a reason why I should care about this team anymore. It's just so bad. It's so bad.
I can't believe they stink as bad as they do.
There is nothing here to even feel good about, you know. And David Ortiz, last night, in the 7th inning, I believe Brock Holt. Let me get the let me pull it up here.
Holt's a good player, isn't he?
Yeah, he's the only one doing
he is
anything.
a real good player.
Pedroia had 3 hits last night, which was nice.
Yeah.
Maybe he's busted out of his slump a little bit, and if he does, I think good things will continue to happen there.
See the end of the game last night?
To a certain extent. Koji?
No, the end of the game. The last play of the game. The third out, the final out.
Yes, I did.
Did you?
Pedroia.
What did you think?
I thought he was out.
So did I.
Yeah.
I
was surprised that Jerry Remy thought that it was going to be much more of a...
I thought the ball hit the glove just before his heel touched the bag.
Yeah, just before.
But
I'm not sure if he closed the glove on it or not. I think it was inside the glove.
I think it was inside the glove. He didn't close it, but it was inside the glove.
I think it was close enough, Tom. I think it was close enough.
Touchies as closies.
That had he been called safe, they wouldn't have been able to overturn it and say he was out. I think it was that close. I think whatever the call on the field was going to stand because they wouldn't have had enough evidence.
Because it was just too close.
One way or the other. That was my take on that, and I certainly wasn't upset.
They didn't take long to make a decision, though.
No, not at all.
That was very quick.
They were ready to go home.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
Well, I mean, no. The decision was made in New York.
I know.
It's not made by the guys on the field.
I know. It's a joke, Tom.
I know. But they were ready to go home.
7th inning.
Imagine the umpires. Oh, we got to stay out.
I know.
Good. Great.
7th inning.
Ortiz is up. We could be here all night. Oh.
Basically, yeah, except no, because they were just throwing nothing to him. And in the 7th inning, it came to a head as David Ortiz, who in his previous at-bats, let's see here, in his first at-bat, he flied out to left. In Ortiz's second at-bat, he grounded out to the pitcher. In his third at-bat, he walked. And he walked with, this was the inning that the Red Sox got their run. Bradley Jr. doubled to left center. Brock Holt singled him over to third. Then Pedroia singled. Bradley went over to second. Bradley scored and Holt went to second. So they had first and second with 2 out. Ortiz gets walked pretty much intentionally. And then Napoli grounded into a fielder's choice. That was in the 5th inning. Then 7th inning comes around. Same sort of deal. Jackie Bradley struck out. Brock Holt grounded out. Then Pedroia singled to center. Got one man on. Tie game. 7th inning. David Ortiz. 4 pitches, and when I tell you none of them came close to even the batter's box of the other side. I mean, these pitches were nowhere near the plate at all. And some of them were so far outside they would have drilled the guy if he was a right-handed hitter. I mean, it was absurd. And on the 3rd pitch, Ortiz basically sort of stared out at him, and it was sort of one of those, okay, David, calm down. And then he knew ball 4 was coming, and then this happened.
Be very careful with David. Everything's away.
Well, I'm going to say the same thing I said last time. He's got the green light. Now, whether he wants it or not, that's a different story.
But you guarantee he has it.
Well, I guarantee he had it last time, and I guarantee he's got it again this time. But that's totally up to David.
I'm thinking he's going to take that for ball 4, and down to first base he goes. There's a few steps out of the box on the way in.
Yeah, he knows that they didn't want to pitch to him. I mean, Ortiz starts down at first base before this even gets into the glove.
See you later.
Yeah, you don't want to throw to me.
It was glorious. It was really
He
funny.
started walking before the pitch came?
The pitch was in the air.
And he started walking?
And he just sort of dropped the bat, took his thing off, started walking to first base.
Good.
While the ball was still traveling
That's
towards
what I would
him.
have done if I was pitching
It
against
was
Ortiz. I'd put Ortiz on every time.
hilarious.
I'd put him on every time.
It was quite funny.
I have a buddy of mine who's a Yankee fan. Every time he says to me, he says, just walk him. This is what I would have done the other night in New York. You know, just walk him. Put him on.
Absolutely. And then Mike Napoli grounded out once again.
There you go.
It was one of 2 highlights so far from these 2 games. The first highlight was breaking up the no-hitter, Jake Arrieta, and the second one was David Ortiz walking to first before the ball crossed the plate. Those are the 2 highlights so far of this series at home against the Chicago Cubs. Tom King. Is there anything worth watching here?
Yeah, there is something. Give me the remote so I can put the Yankee game on.
Oh, are they playing right now?
Yeah, there is something worth
I got to
watching.
call D'Onofrio.
There is something worth watching.
So give me
Good.
something.
You call D'Onofrio and I'll watch the.
All right, later.
Look, the Red Sox problem is offense. And it's, again, I'm going to say it again. The players that they had last year had great years, clutch hitting. They're not having that this year. You don't get those kinds of years 2 years in a row. The players who did that didn't have that track record before they had those years last year. So they're getting by. I mean, they're growing pains with a center fielder who's, you know, inexperienced, and he's just trying to feel his way. And one of their veteran catalysts from a year ago has been hurt the whole year. That's Victorino, basically. And in left field, they're getting Bupkis.
Yeah.
So
from guys who they got a lot from last year.
Right,
Absolutely.
that's what I mean. That's the whole thing. It's a whole different story.
The Red Sox scored more runs than any team last year. Right. They led baseball in runs scored. I think all of baseball, definitely the American League. I'm not sure if they ended up edging out the Cardinals or not, but I know they were right up there. This year,
no.
Not even on pace to score 600 runs.
Oh, no.
Oh, Vidal Nuno.
Oh, no. I turn on the TV, and the first thing I see is Vidal Sassoon.
Sandy.
I want to cry. Get me out of here.
Sandy Nuno not doing it for you anymore?
Oh, my God. Can this day get any worse than it already
Nuno?
is? Oh, my Lord.
Yes, it can get worse. Here comes Dave D'Onofrio. No, I'm just kidding.
I know. Here comes D'Onofrio.
We love you. Here's
Hi, Dave. How are you?
Dave D'Onofrio joins us here on Christian and King. Hello, Dave. How are you?
After an intro like that, how could I be anything but
you got to be spectacular. You got to be. Now I'll let Christian talk to you. I'm just going to stay quiet, and you'll hear me groan in the background here and there when
as Vidal Nuno gives
Vidal
up.
Nuno returns back to earth and gives up 5 runs in 2 innings.
Dave, simple question: is the season over?
Whew. I want to say no. I'm more compelled this morning to say yes.
Right, me too.
Just because if we start looking at the reality of the situation, meaning the standings, the record, the wins and losses, they're now as close to last in the American League as they are to ninth. So that's 2.5 games in either direction. That's 6th in the wild card race. So they're 2.5 games out of last, they're 2.5 games out of 6th for the wild card. Even if they close that gap, they still got to jump over 5 more teams. It's a dangerous thing to count on. I would say that.
Yeah, and that's another thing people are sort of losing in all of this.
The wild
is that,
card?
yes, they're 6 games back, and they're not that far out of the wild card, but they have all of these teams to jump over. And even though it's not that many games altogether, 6 isn't that many, when you have that many teams in front of you, they all have to lose while you win. And I think that's what people are sort of forgetting.
Here's the thing that can happen, and I'm going to break it down simply. Now, it may not happen, all right, but this is a weird season. There's not very many good teams the whole bit. They're in this boat because they had the 10-game losing streak. All right, they can get out of that boat by winning 10 in a row, and I think it's possible. I don't think it's impossible. They've got the pitching to do it, in my mind. So I don't know. What say you, Mr. D'Onoff?
Yeah, they won 7 in a row at one point,
right,
in direct response to the 10-game losing streak.
Sure.
And Tampa Bay, who has now won, I think, 6 out of 7.
And,
it's only 2 games behind them, and they lost 14 out of 15 at one point. So if you're basing your faith on these teams not being very good and every team probably having one of these streaks in it, I think you're probably basing it in something decent there. Even in the American League East, I mean, we saw Toronto go through a recent spell
right,
where they kind of stunk. The Yankees aren't playing very well right now.
Oh, God, no.
So that the division might be your better opportunity because, A, you only have to go over 3 teams, and B, I think if you look at the Angels, the A's, and the Tigers, those 3 teams are better than you anyways, so one of them is probably going to be a wild card. Your best bet is probably to focus on the East.
Dave, I don't think it's really just a small sample size trend anymore with this offense. I mean, we're here at the midway point, after the midway point, as a matter of fact. And while this team is unable to really do much against good pitchers like Tanaka and Felix Hernandez and the Oakland Athletics starters of the world, we're seeing this team get shut down by Edwin Jackson and Vidal Nuno, both in this last 7 days. What needs to be done for this offense to pick it up? I know they've tried some things, dropping Bogarts in the lineup, moving some people around. Is it time to start really considering making a move here?
Well, first off, to accentuate your point, Christian, I had a note in Sunday's column about what they've done against the 16, as of going into Friday night, there were 16 pitchers in the big leagues whose ERA was 5 or worse, and they'd thrown at least 50 innings. One of them was Buchholz, but they faced the other the other guys a total of 9 times. In those games, they were 4 and 5, and those guys had posted an ERA of 3.54. So basically, against the Red Sox, the worst pitchers in the league had looked better than average, which is, obviously a place to start if you want to improve. You need to take advantage of beating bad pitchers. I mean, they got shut down by Masterson, who has proven to be not very good. Nuno, they won a 1-0 game against Kevin Correa. It's guys like that when those guys come up on the schedule, Edwin Jackson, you can't lose that game at all. You just need to take advantage of those opportunities.
Erasmo Ramirez, there's another one, and there's just every one of these series is just littered with pitchers that they should be hitting.
Beat Chase Whitley the other night.
They did beat Chase Whitley.
But as far as how they get out of that, it's no longer as easy as get healthy, because I don't think Victorino is going to be healthy at any point this season,
right.
and I'm not sure that it'd even be worth rushing him back at something less than full health at this point. Middlebrooks, based on the first half, I don't think you can look at it as any sort of solution or answer. You might just need Pedroia's heated up here recently. You might need him to stay hot. Ortiz has come through in big moments. Napoli has not been bad. It's the guys around them. Bogarts needs to be much better than he's been. I think that after his stretch in late May, they came to rely on him a little bit. They looked at him as maybe that number 4 guy around the big 3 in the lineup, and that just hasn't panned out. He's been dreadful recently. But that's going to happen with a 21-year-old. Now you're counting on another 21-year-old Mookie Betts to help you out. Bottom line, there's no easy solution. It might ultimately be easier to blow this thing up than it is to figure out a way to get it back.
If they blow it up for the second time in 3 years, what do you think? How do you predict this is going to look to not just Red Sox fans in general, but to the rest of the league? I mean, here we're talking about a team that went from very good on paper to very bad to blowing up the team to winning a World Series to blowing up basically the same team right after that. I mean, what sort of pattern is this? How can you even explain this?
Well, I don't think they will blow it up.
I'm saying if they do, Tom.
Well, here's the thing. They can't blow
Tom,
up.
will you let him answer the question that I just asked before hijacking the interview?
well,
Shut up, Tom. Dave,
right,
go ahead.
All right, go ahead, Dave. Answer the question, and I'll throw in my 2 cents, which is really worth $1
I
million.
think I know what you're going to say, and I will. If not, you can feel free to add on or dispute this. But it's hard to blow up because they still will have. They're in a position where they can still have a core for next year. They can. Napoli's not going anywhere. Pedroia, Ortiz, Bogart. So there's your 4 middle-of-the-order guys. We just talked about that. Mm-hmm. They can get rid of the extra pieces, I think. And, it would technically be blowing it up because you're trading starters, you're trading rotation guys. But if you keep those 4 bats and you keep Lucky and Laster, and you continue to move forward, with those guys and you get them on some sort of deal for next year, you're not necessarily blowing it up, but you're changing the look of your team pretty significantly. I'm not sure they'd be any worse in that situation, and the biggest benefit for my money, after what we've seen from Jackie Bradley and Bogarts to a certain extent, and the integration of these young players, Will Middlebrooks, I'd love for them to take an opportunity here, if they're not going to win anything, to see what these guys have at the major league level for the last 6 weeks, last 2 months of the year, really go into next year's camp knowing what they have, go into the offseason knowing what they need, instead of, blindly speculating on how these guys are going to perform at the major league level. which I think is part of what hurt him early in this year.
Yeah, well, see, Dave, though, I think that I get what you're saying, but, I mean, where are you going to learn more about what you have in Jackie Bradley Jr. in the first 3 months of the season or in the last 6 weeks? I mean, I feel like we've seen what we're going to see from him in situations where it matters, and if we're just going to punt the season and see how well he plays in garbage time towards the end of the year in the dog days of August, what are we really getting from him? I'm still not going to trust him in a big at-bat, in a season where it actually matters if that's all we're getting and all we're seeing from them. How much does that really tell you?
He could turn into the next Robert O'Kelly.
Robert O'Kelly.
Yeah. Robert O'Kelly is what he used to call him.
I think part of that is with so many teams still in it, with the second wild card, that's sort of inevitable. There's going to be a lot of meaningful games down the stretch, whether they're meaningful for the Red Sox or for their opponents. You do have that situation, and I'm not necessarily talking about Bradley as much as I'm talking about Christian Vasquez, say, or a Mookie Betts. Give these guys some opportunity. If you look at them as a potential starter next year, if you're thinking about going into spring training and then April with those guys in your lineup every day, I think it helps you evaluate them and it helps them get experience if you can see it at the major league level instead of shutting it down at AAA on Labor Day. I think that doesn't necessarily help you evaluate things because we've seen here in the last couple of years it's really hard for a rookie to make that jump. So any experience you can get and any sort of read you can get on them, it'll help them, make some decisions come February and March.
Let me give you an outsider's viewpoint. From the outside looking in, all right? Talking about blowing it up. They didn't expect to win the World Series last year. They signed all these veterans to hold the fort until their younger players were ready. They're going to follow through on that. They're going to keep it that way. So they're not going to blow it up. And what I was going to say a few minutes ago was they're not going to blow it up. They're going to wait for the contracts to run out. When the contracts run out, they're probably not going to re-sign most of those guys. Correct?
Yeah, and I think that they could, in a couple cases, they could speed it up if they wanted to.
Yeah, they could.
Especially.
They could, but what's the sense of urgency? Because they're expected to win now after they won it already? I think that was a fluke almost that they won it. So they win it.
Yeah, and they
win it. They celebrate it.
Probably changed the plan a little bit.
Yeah, I know. You know what? I'm saying it shouldn't. I'm saying keep the plan the way it is.
Yeah, and I think
you got
by
your World
and large,
Series.
Ben Cherington.
Right.
Ben Cherington's a believer in the Tom King philosophy.
Exactly. Well, everybody should follow the Tom King philosophy.
Nobody should ever follow the Tom King
philosophy. Don't you think Dave D'Onofrio? Everybody should follow the Tom King philosophy. On life, on everything.
Gonna have to disagree with you there.
I mean, really.
Anyway, we're talking with Dave D'Onofrio, New Hampshire Union
True
leader.
Renaissance man.
That's exactly.
Because he was alive during the Renaissance.
Exactly, that's right.
Dave D'Onofrio, New Hampshire Union leader, joins us here on
King of the Gospel. King of the Gospel.
Dave, rumor floating around is that Koji Uehara may be on the trade block. We saw him have a little bit of a hiccup last night as well. Obviously, he's been very good this year, but not a superhuman self. He's 39 years old. Is this a realistic possibility? Are there teams out there that feel they're just one closer away? And what could you maybe get in return for someone like Koji?
I think he's your most valuable chip, and I think that they'd be silly not to float it or maybe, pursue it more actively than just throwing his name out there. Because you're right. If you do have a team that's a closer away, looking for postseason experience, looking for a guy who's not going to, cough all over himself at that time of year, he's your man. I mean, it more so even than Lester, there's been a lot of talk about whether they would trade Lester. Well, Lester's going to hit free agency, so the value you get for him is probably diminished a little bit in that respect. Uehara is as well, but you're not really trading for him with the expectation that he's going to be part of your franchise for a long time. He's a guy you go out and get if you need a very specific role filled in the back of your bullpen. And so I'm not sure exactly what they could get, but if they're out of it on July 31st and he is here on August 1st, it doesn't make much sense to me.
Yeah, it certainly doesn't. Dave D'Onofrio, thank you so much for your time, sir. Great chatting with you, as it always is. By the way,
Gardner home run.
Yankees just went up 1-0.
It's a garden shot from Gardner.
Is that what he says?
I have no idea.
Anyway, yeah, Gardner just put one in the upper deck. But, Dave, thank you so much for your time. As always, we'll talk to you again soon.
Anytime, boys. Thanks.
All right, later, D'Onofrio. That's Dave D'Onofrio there.
I meant to ask him if I wasn't distracted by this Yankee thing about Peavy's chances of finishing the season with the Red Sox.
Yeah. I suppose.
Right.
I'd be, yeah. Well, he already hung up, so we can't do it now.
They're going to trade the closer? I wouldn't trade the closer.
Guess what I got, Tom?
What do you got?
A 4-pass for Loon Mountain's summer adventure. which is a lot of fun. And we've already given away some of these, have some very, very satisfied people already. Great thing to do with the family. A really good time over at Loon. You take these passes in and you get mountain biking, zip lining, all sorts of cool stuff to do up on the mountain and around it. And we will give these away for you here, a 4-pack, not a 2-pack. Even in the past, we've had 2-packs. Now we've got a 4-pack. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Eric in Manchester's on the phone.
Eric? Oh, we got to take it.
We'll talk to Eric. And
No,
we
got to take it. We can't put it up.
We can't make him wait. So we'll take Eric right now, and then we'll give these away afterwards. Eric, hello.
Hey, guys. I'm going to give a shout out to my friend Bob Duffley if he's listening. He says he likes the he was trashing you guys the other day, so I stood up for you guys. He said your show was boring.
Our show is boring?
Really?
Who dares say that?
He said he likes shows like the 10 to noon guy that talks about sports. He says he doesn't want to hear Eric from Manchester.
Oh.
He trashed me too. He threw me under the bus.
Wow.
So wait, he likes Dan Patrick more than are you telling me? Just a second, Eric. Are you telling me there are people out there who like the Dan Patrick show more than this program? Because I don't believe that. I think that is absurd.
Believe it or not,
Eric, did you smack some sense into him?
Yeah, really.
I mean,
tried to, but it doesn't do any good.
Wow. Keep smacking.
He's not listening anyways. But
Keep
anyway,
smacking. He'll come
I
around.
called up because I had good news. I got a job today.
Hey, Eric, way to go, pal. Nice job. Where's the job?
All right.
Belmont Hall.
Belmont Hall? And what's that?
Manchester. You know where that guy place is on Grove Street?
Yeah.
Right down the street from where I used to work, down in Valley Lincoln Stop and Shop. So
Very
not
good.
too far from there.
So what's your position?
I mean, maintenance man, doing some dishes and cleaning and bathrooms and outside, inside. Kind of almost the same job as I did at Stop and Shop the last year, except it's going to be in an environment where there's people serving food and stuff, and I can wear shorts.
Well, you got Tom King's attention right there with the food.
Oh, I like that.
I can wear shorts.
That's very
good.
That's
good.
I had to wear long pants and a black apron. It's like, oh, God, it's so hot outside.
Eric, we have one request.
I'm playing Eric's victory
One request, Eric. When you go there and start work, you got to tell everybody to listen.
Tomorrow.
When you go there tomorrow and start work, you got to tell everybody to listen to Christian and King. How's that?
I'll do my best.
All right. Okay.
What do you mean you do your best? You either go in and do it or you don't.
One friend of mine, I guess, doesn't like your show for some reason. I don't know why. But
It's all right. That's all right. Make more friends.
I'll see if I can work on them.
All right.
Tell him keep listening. It'll get better eventually.
It'll get really good
There
next
you
week.
go.
I'm on vacation.
Yes, when Tom King's gone next week, it'll get existentially
All right,
better.
very well.
Thank you so much, Eric.
Congrats, Eric.
Congratulations on your new
right.
job. All right. Bye-bye, Eric in Manchester, ladies and gentlemen. Employed and going to have a little extra cash in his pocket. So beware, ladies of Manchester. Eric's on the prowl, and he's got some money to burn.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I can pack it in now. If I have to go out there and compete with Eric, for ladies' attention, it might as well
Better get us some listeners.
Yeah, no kidding. All right.
Set that guy straight.
No kidding. I cannot fathom the
Called
fact.
boring?
Boring?
You gotta be kidding me.
I mean, we're a lot of things. I wouldn't say boring. It's one of them.
Oh, my God.
Annoying, insufferable. All these other things. Boring, no.
Grating.
Anyways, and also one thing you can't call us is, you can't say.
Cheap. Well, you
it's
call
cheap.
me. Yeah,
Tom's cheap.
Yeah,
I'm not cheap. And you can't say we're not generous either because we got a 4-pack for Loon Mountains Adventure Pass right here. It is valid until September 1st, and it can be all yours right now. A 4-pack for the whole family. Give me a call, 603-883-9900. That's 603-883-9900, and we will take caller number 4. Caller number 4 at 603-883-9900 gets a 4-pack for the Loon Mountain Adventure Pass, which gives you access to all of the cool summer stuff they have there at Loon, including the zip lining, including the mountain biking, hikes, all this other good stuff. It's a great way to spend the day, especially now that the weather has broken here in New Hampshire. Caller number 4 at 603-883-9900 gets the 4-pack to Loon Mountain Summer Adventure, and we'll be right back here on Christian and King.
The Hanover Street Chop House is taking fine dining in the city of Manchester to a whole new level. We know about the food, the hand-cut steaks, the chops, the fresh fish, but now you can eat like a king at lunchtime as well with their new business lunch, which features 3 courses for just $15. Sip some wine at the piano bar or check out the new Raw Bar every Thursday. It's the Hanover Street Chop House, 149 Hanover Street in Manchester. Place your reservation at 603-644-CHOP. That's 644-2467 or visit HanoverStreetChopHouse.com.
Hey folks, Tom Rowe here for the good people at Infinity of Nashua. Right now at Infinity of Nashua, they're home to one of the most unique automobiles on the planet. The 2014 Q50 all-wheel drive hybrid gets an astounding 30 miles per gallon with a powerful 360 horsepower engine that gives you the performance you demand from a luxury vehicle. The 2014 Q50 all-wheel drive hybrid is priced, get this, below $50,000. Other comparable luxury vehicles can cost you twice as much. All Infinity vehicles are backed by a 4-year, 60,000-mile warranty and a powertrain warranty for 6 years at 70,000 miles. At Infinity of Nashua, they know your time is valuable, and when it comes time to service your vehicle, Infinity of Nashua has a fleet of loaner cars for you to use, so you're not waiting around for your car to be serviced. And the service department hand washes and vacuums your vehicle after every visit. Infinity of Nashua is located on 105 DW Highway in Nashua and can also be found online at infinityofnashua.com. Once more, Infinity of Nashua is located on 105 DW Highway in Nashua and can also be found online at infinityofnashua.com.
Cool Sculpting is a breakthrough non-invasive procedure that noticeably eliminates fat without surgery. Cool Sculpting targets and freezes fat cells, causing their natural death in the treatment area. No incisions, no downtime. This is not a weight loss solution, but the results will last as long as you maintain a healthy lifestyle. Is Cool Sculpting right for you? Mention this ad for a free Cool Sculpting consultation and visit Waldman Plastic Surgery and Dermatology.com or call 603-577-5559 today.
It's time to stop worrying about driving too many miles and eliminate mileage constraints. Holloway Motorcars of Manchester is proud to announce the bold changes to the Mercedes-Benz Certified Pre-Owned program. Introducing Unlimited Confidence from Mercedes-Benz. What does that mean? Now all Mercedes-Benz Certified Pre-Owned come with unlimited mileage warranty. Yes, unlimited miles. There's more. 2.99% financing, 2 payment credits, and limited time offer for free prepaid maintenance when you finance a 2010, 11, or 12 certified C, E, M, and GL class from Holloway Motorcars of Manchester. Yes, 2.99%, 2 payment credits and prepaid maintenance, and unlimited mileage warranty. What are you waiting for? The time to buy your certified pre-owned Mercedes-Benz is now. These offers are time sensitive, so don't miss out. Visit us in person or online at benzcars.com. That's benzcars.com. Offer valid to qualified buyers through Mercedes-Benz Financial. 2 payment credits and prepaid maintenance valid in specified models only. See dealer for details. Restrictions may apply. benzcars.com.
Masa Hibachi, located at 1707 South Willow Street in Manchester, New Hampshire, directly across from the Mall of New Hampshire, is a new modern Asian restaurant with a diverse menu. Masa is a great place to enjoy one of their famous specialty martinis with a friend in their large, spacious lounge area. Dine with a small party or a large party in their state-of-the-art hibachi grill. Their sushi menu is incredible with so much to choose from. Take it from me, Jim Sensabella, my kids and I love it. And you and your family will love it too at the Masa Japanese Hibachi Grill. For reservations of parties of 5 or more, call 603-626-9888. Masa Japanese Hibachi Grill in Manchester, New Hampshire, directly across from the Mall of New Hampshire. The #1 Japanese Hibachi Grill in the Manchester area.
SquareTrade does not cover lost or stolen items. Savings based on 2-year iPhone plan with 1 claim compared to Asurion total equipment coverage.
Every 2 seconds, one of us accidentally breaks our smartphone. So protecting your phone is a smart idea. But if you have insurance from one of those big cell phone companies, you're paying way too much. I'm Steve Abernathy, and I founded SquareTrade to give you a better choice. AT&T can charge $10 a month for phone insurance. Same for Verizon. Sprint, $11, plus up to $199 deductible when you break your phone. SquareTrade phone protection is only $5 a month with a much lower deductible. We can save you over $250. A family of 4 can save over $1,000. And switching to SquareTrade is easy. Even if you're locked into a 2-year phone contract with AT&T, Verizon, or Sprint, you can cancel their phone insurance anytime. We'll even show you how.
Switch to SquareTrade now and you can save over $250. Call 1-800-518-5189 or visit squaretrade.com. 1-800-518-5189.
SquareTrade. Text the word JOIN to 50352 and join the ESPN New Hampshire Text Club. Scores, standings, trades, and rumors. This is the ESPN New Hampshire Sports Center.
It was a heartbreaking defeat yesterday for the United States as they were eliminated from the World Cup by Belgium by way of a 2-1 defeat in extra period. In the loss, goalie Tim Howard had 16 saved, which was the most in a World Cup match in 50 years. Howard talked after the match that he said he had no problem with his team losing as long as they left it all out on the field.
Our heads are high because we couldn't have given any more. We played 4 phenomenal games, and last night everybody gave everything they had, and sometimes you don't win, but we're proud of ourselves.
The Boston Red Sox continue to struggle scoring runs as they lost to the Chicago Cubs 2-1 last night. The Red Sox have scored 2 or less runs in 12 of their last 17 games. The Sox and Cubs will do battle again tonight. First pitch at 7:10 with pregame starting at 6:20 right here on ESPN New Hampshire. The Nashua Silver Knights went on the road and defeated the North Shore Navigators last night 3-1. Make sure to listen to all Silver Knight home games all season long on our sister station, WSMN 1590. The New Hampshire Fisher Cats got back on track after their 6-game win streak was snapped the night before. They beat the Reading Fighting Phils 6-2, and the Boston Celtics have agreed to terms with Avery Bradley. I'm Rich Flair, and the Sports Center was brought to you by Peters of Nashua. For the lowest prices, period, it's Peters of Nashua. Visit them online at petersauto.com.
You're listening to Christian and King on ESPN New Hampshire.
Do that. Kim with the go-ahead run in scoring position. That was interesting. Yeah, that's a little bogus. He saw Wellington set up off the outside corner, so he knew they were going to not give in to him there on 3-0.
I think he might have been completely out of the batter's box as this ball crosses the plate.
603-883-9900. That was the Chicago call of David Ortiz's early exit of the batter's box. Once again, one of the 2 highlights of this series with the Chicago Cubs. The first one, of course, being breaking up Jake Arrieta's no-hitter. I've come to the point now, I think, Tom, that I don't think it would be that big of a deal. The Red Sox traded Koji Uehara for a couple of reasons. The main one is he's very old. He's an old guy. He's a closer.
Yeah, I guess I'm coming around to your point of view.
And you can get more for him. You can get more for him than you can get from him, I think, at this point in the season.
It's a very good line.
That line I just gave you?
Yes, very good line.
Thank you. I just made it up.
That was very good.
I think you get more for him than from him at this point. And that's not to say that I don't think you're going to get anything from him for the rest of the year. I think if you did keep him, he would pitch very well for the rest of the season and probably have another great season in the closer spot. Not what I mean. I mean that if this team can't score runs, it's not going to matter if he's pitching well or not because they're not going to have a lead for him to protect, and he's just going to go out there and pitch like he did last night. Excuse me. That one jumped out of me right there.
Is that your opinion of how he pitched?
That is my opinion of how he pitched.
Not great, Bob.
Oh, that was great. Oh.
That was actually
not great, Bob.
You're not even drinking carbonated beverages. You got a Snapple over there.
I know. I was drinking a Snapple.
I know. That's not supposed to make you belch.
I don't know.
Oh, my God.
I don't know what to make of this.
Oh, that's too much.
Not great, Bob.
Oh, that's funny. Oh. The way he pitched last night.
Yeah. Well, what he did last night was he came in a tie game.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's a closer pitching in a tie. That happens all the time.
I know.
Happens to Rivera. Happened to Rivera all the time.
Yes.
Boy, with Vidal, Nuno was looking like Sandy Koufax all of a sudden.
Nuno still dealing?
He's made his way through 5 batters.
Wow.
This is amazing.
Yeah. Against the Red Sox and the Rays.
Actually, 5
Two
batters.
power slugging clubs right there.
No, really.
It's good. It's good practice for Nuno. Yeah. I'm not even sure Vidal Nuno would crack the starting rotation for the New Hampshire Fisher Cats, to be perfectly honest with you.
He probably wouldn't.
I think if they were like, okay, Vidal, we'll put you in long relief, you come out in a major emergency, and we may have to option you back down to single A, whatever that is.
It was funny, that Girardi was saying, well, we're going to stay in rotation. They had all these days to skip. They could have skipped Nuno for that Red Sox start, but they didn't. And Girardi was getting a little irritated with the reason why. Basically, the reason why is because his GM hasn't gotten him another pitcher.
Right.
And B, he doesn't want to skip. He wants to let the rotation stretch out because they're all old. And Tanaka is used to pitching once a week. So they want him to, any extra rest that you can give Tanaka, which they gained by not having him pitch Friday. So he pitched on schedule on Saturday with an extra day's rest.
Right.
They're going to take advantage of that.
Texter says, hey, Tom, do you have the intern or Rich or somebody check the tapes? I think I remember Christian calling the U.S.'s first win a turning point.
That's pretty good. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. At the what was I going to say? the trade deadline is going to be interesting to see what they do. I mean, Koji could have, Eric. The opposite of the way it was when the Red Sox got Gagne 7-8 years ago.
The opposite of
the
how
opposite.
it was.
They're giving away the relief guy,
right?
Which they don't normally do.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll be curious to see what they can get for him. I really will be.
Yeah, I think I'd be curious in seeing that as well.
But imagine the look on your face if I had told you on April 1st, Christian, in 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
May, June, July. Yeah. In 3 months, you are going to be talking about trading Koji or Urihara or whatever, however you say it.
The look on my face?
Yep.
It would have been something like,
it would have sounded like that belch I heard just a little bit.
Not great, Bob.
Right. I mean, you would have been shocked.
Probably, yeah.
Shocked.
Definitely.
But that's how quickly things can turn in baseball.
Actually, I wouldn't have been shocked.
Yeah, you would have.
I wouldn't have because Koji, as great as he is 39 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I mean, no, you never be.
You got something against old, Christian?
Are you kidding me?
You got something against veteran age?
Before I started doing this show, I loved
fine
old people.
Wine?
Before I did this show, I loved old people.
Exactly.
Now I would just, oh man. Now I wish it was like Logan's Run. You remember that movie, Logan's Run?
Now you'd shut down every nursing home in the country.
Everybody dies at 35.
Yeah,
That's basically what I wish. I pine for a civilization like that in Logan's Run. This also brings us to another point of contention that I think is going to continue to go like this until the offseason, I guess, and that's John Lester. What about the extension here? Is he worth that money? Even if he's not worth the money, do you extend him anyway? Do you let him walk away for nothing? I mean, it seems to me that at this point, with the team, if the team was better, and this sounds strange to say, if the team was better, if the team was doing better, if they were in first place and cruising to another playoff run, then yeah, you let John Lester walk and you feel like, okay, it's okay if Lester leaves. We're in good hands. We have guys in the minors. This team's still clicking. It'll be okay. Well, there'll be life without John Lester. There will be life after John Lester.
Oh, I think this is the opposite.
I think it's the opposite right now.
I think the opposite is the sentiment will be let them go if they stink. Mm-hmm. We can lose with them. We can lose without them.
That maybe, but
all right, because I think if they're winning, he's looked on as one of the reasons why.
Right.
And they want to keep him. I think it's the opposite. I totally disagree.
Well, listen,
I think it's the opposite. I mean, in terms of public opinion.
Okay.
All right, and an impression. The impression is we're losing. Let him go. That's the impression.
Okay.
All right. We're winning. Oh my God, we can't let him go. It was the same with Urihara. We can't let him go. We need him.
What about Jacoby Ellsbury? Won a World Series with him. Let him walk. No problem.
I think the reason they did that was because they had Bradley Jr.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and they had the replacement was already basically in their minds all set.
Okay.
All right. Now it hasn't turned out the way they hoped. But that's what their plan was. And B, they want to pay him all that money. They knew that the money.
They don't want to pay Lester all that money either, though.
They don't. And I guess the danger is that somebody else will. And I guess if they're going to pay, if the Yankees were stupid enough to give if the Yankees were going to give Ellsbury that kind of money, then certainly.
And the Yankees are going to be in a bidding war.
Certainly, they would pony up for Lester.
They'll be in a bidding war for Lester.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
It won't just be the Yankees.
No.
I expect that. I expect the Lester negotiations to go through the roof. I really do.
And let me tell you something.
Two-time World Series champion. I mean, come on.
And let me tell you something. If John Lester doesn't go to free agency now, he's crazy.
Yeah.
He's got to go.
He's out of his mind.
He's 9-7 with a 2.85 ERA on a bad team.
On an atrocious team.
He's got to go.
On a good team, on a good offensive team right now, Lester would probably be 13-4 at this point in the year.
Got to take.
He'd be the first pitcher to have 13 wins. He would be the best pitcher in baseball.
This is your chance. This is your chance to hit a home run with your contract.
Be a Cy Young contender.
Unless they're going to, whatever they're going to offer, it's not going to be as much as he can get on the open market.
You're
I
right.
guarantee it.
Absolutely.
He's got to go. Now, the question I had this morning, and I read, the All-Star game just sneaks it right up on you.
Mm-hmm.
The rosters are going to be announced Sunday.
Yeah.
All right. Or the voting or whatever, I guess, and then Farrell adds to it, and the player vote adds to it. But what if you're Farrell? Who do you want on this team for the All-Star? For an All-Star, do you want Lackey? I guess the talk is Lackey, Lester, Urihara, and
Brock Holt.
No, and
Brock Holt.
Brock
Holt.
Ortiz and
Brock
and Pedroia.
Pedroia, really?
Yeah.
Is an all-star?
Yeah, I wouldn't know. Pedroia, no.
Really?
Okay. Pedroia, no.
He might get the votes, but no.
Ortiz,
no way.
yes.
I don't even know if I make Ortiz. I mean, he's the best DH, but
Well,
he's not having an all-star caliber year.
Well, yeah, exactly. He's not.
Yeah. He'll get voted in because there's no other DH to vote in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Ortiz, and then pitching-wise, I'd give Lackey an all-star. Now, he's 9-5.
Lackey? Okay.
9-5 with an ERA in the 3s.
Yeah.
It's the American League.
True.
And Lester, I would, too.
You give Lester, Lackey.
That's it.
Yeah.
Stop right there.
Can't give De La Rosa or Workman a nod. They haven't pitched enough.
No, and Holt is questionable because he hasn't played a lot.
Well, Brock Holt could be an all-star at any position. He could be the catcher, starting first baseman, starting pitcher.
No, he was probably.
He could be the mascot.
Didn't I see him at one of those porn star award ceremonies?
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Also be the first base coach.
Right.
The traveling manager like Jack McCormick, Brock Holt could do that as well. There's
Yep.
really nothing Brock Holt can do.
No.
If he could do like the Bugs Bunny and play all 9 positions, that'd be fine.
Right.
I'd be totally okay with that.
Yep.
603-883-9900. Your phone number, 883-9900. Text in 50352. We haven't even talked about this yet, Tom King, but we have another installment of the Christian and King quiz series.
Oh, we got a quiz today?
Yeah, we'll do them every day. Why not?
Really?
I got enough
Do
quizzes.
them every day.
I got a bunch of them to do for the rest of the week, and then you're on vacation, so let's just do them. Fine. You don't want to do them, we don't have to do them.
Well, what's the category?
There's 2 categories left.
Oh, there are?
Major League Baseball teams by their last MVP.
Okay.
And the spelling bee category.
Forget the spelling bee. I'll wipe that out.
So you do the one by okay.
Well, I guess we'll have to do the last MVP.
Or we'll do by team. I'll give you the team. You got to give me the last MVP. Jeez. I think, or maybe it's the opposite way. I got to go look at it again. But we'll do that at 2 o'clock.
That's hard. That's a hard one.
Maybe not as hard as you think.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll do it at 2 o'clock.
Not as good. I'll never get as what I did yesterday. Yesterday was just Hall of Fame.
That was unbelievable. And you know what? That was so good that I'm actually going to start doing other Were They Teammates type quizzes, and that might be a recurring thing then. Because that was, first of all, it was fun.
Watching me just fired off.
But you were unconscious. I mean, that was the best performance I've ever seen.
You got off to a bad start. You recovered nicely.
Sputtered out of the gate, though.
You sputtered out of the gate, right? Exactly.
Yeah, and you were just a freight train.
I was just
no stopping the Tom King train. No. Thomas the Tank Engine was just not to be denied.
You know what? I miss Thomas the Tank. He hasn't been at Holman yet this year.
What?
I know.
What do you mean?
They got to have Thomas the Tank
I didn't know Thomas the Tank Engine was at Holman Stadium.
Yeah, they brought it out from it's not there. They got to bring it. They got to get it back. They got to bring it up.
I agree.
Definitely.
I didn't know that it was ever
I guess there's a shortage of interns at Silver
Maybe
Knights
they had
this
to
year,
sacrifice Thomas the Tank Engine for Tom King Bobblehead Day.
Well, they ought to have him. Look, on that bobblehead night, I want to ride on Thomas the Tank Engine.
I think you deserve it.
I think I deserve it, too.
603-883-9900. That's your phone number, 883-9900. Also want to say congratulations to my man Ken in Nashua, who won the 4-pack of Loon Adventure spots. He's going to have a fun time with the fam, and we're going to have more of those to give away over the course of the next couple of weeks. So make sure you keep listening to Christian and King. We'll be right back.
I'm Will Selva with NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network. The news, not so good for Buffalo Bills fans this Tuesday. NFL media insider Ian Rappaport reporting that the Bills are concerned that linebacker Kiko Alonso has suffered a torn ACL. NFL media's Albert Breer reporting that Alonso will likely have an MRI Wednesday that should confirm the injury. GM Doug Whaley releasing the following statement. We have learned that Kiko Alonso injured his knee while working out in Oregon. We do not have the details at this point, but early indications are that it may be significant. The Cowboys with a couple of moves on Tuesday. The team has acquired the rights to former Ravens linebacker Rolando McClain. Dallas sending a 6th-round pick in next year's draft to the Ravens while getting a 7th-round pick in return. Dallas also placing Sean Lee on season-ending injured reserve with a torn knee ligament. If you recall, Lee tore his left ACL in the team's first off-season practice. This has been NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network.
Just how versatile is Pro Bond Advanced from Elmer's? Well, you can use it on wood.
Use it on wood.
And it also works great on metal. It works on stone. Even glass. Pro Bond Advanced from Elmer's. It's the non-toxic, non-foaming, weatherproof adhesive that's strong enough for any job, indoors or out. Pro Bond Advanced from Elmer's. Find it at a retailer near you.
Know-how.
When your battery goes out on you, it's
that's like a sucker punch to the gut. But now at Napa, when you buy a new battery, alternator, or starter, you get a Visa rebate card by mail for up to $25 and a Visa rebate card for up to $25 with a new battery. Well, that's like a sucker punch to the gut, but from a really pretty girl. Conquer the job with Napa Know-How. At participating Napa Auto Parts stores. Offer expires 7/31/14.
Is a sports injury keeping you out of your favorite class or your student athlete on the sideline? If so, come to New Hampshire Orthopedic Center, where we keep bodies in motion. Our sports medicine team's board-certified fellowship-trained physicians can tackle any injury keeping you away from the activities you love. Trust the team the Manchester Monarchs trust. Doctors Bouvier, Gumas, Killy, Marino, Sohikian, and Velas had the expertise and experience you can depend on. Our physicians know how motivated you are to get back in action. They chose sports medicine because they love getting athletes back into their favorite activities. With 6 area locations, you don't have to leave your community to get the best care. NHOC is conveniently located throughout southern New Hampshire, with offices in Nashua, Manchester, Londonderry, Amherst, and Salem. New Hampshire Orthopedic Center. We keep bodies in motion. To learn more, visit NHOC.com. Again, that's NHOC.com.
Wendy's Late Night presents The Buzzer.
Hey, check out this app. Tells you if you've got a good idea or not.
Okay, extreme bowling? Comic book hero costume party?
Steakhouse Junior cheeseburgers at Wendy's?
But it's late. That's not even an ad, is it?
Okay, you got me. But we can't fight imaginary crime on empty stomachs.
With Wendy's, your night just got better. Get a great deal on favorites like the new Steakhouse Junior Cheeseburger Deluxe for just $1.49.
Now that's better.
Open till midnight or later for a limited time only. Prices and participation may vary. Prices higher in Alaska and Hawaii.
Text the word JOIN to 50352 and join the ESPN New Hampshire Text Club. Scores, standings, trades, and rumors. This is the ESPN New Hampshire Sports Center.
The Nashua Silver Knights went on the road yesterday and defeated the North Shore Navigators 3-1. They'll return to Holman Stadium for the next 2 nights, and you can listen to all Silver Knight home games all season long on our sister station, WSMN 1590. The New Hampshire Fisher Cats look to take the rubber match tonight from the Reading Fighting Phils. First pitch at 7:05. The Boston Red Sox continue to struggle scoring runs as they lost to the Chicago Cubs 2-1 last night. In the loss, Clay Buchholz looked strong for the second straight outing after coming off the disabled list. Manager John Farrell thought his starter had good stuff.
Oh, this is the second straight start since being activated. He's pitched very well. Into the 7th inning with 1 run allowed, getting to a pitch count that he hasn't gotten to for the better part of this year. But I thought he had good stuff. Probably one of the better fastballs he's had the entire season.
The Sox and the Cubs will battle it out again tonight at Fenway Park. First pitch at 7:10 with pregame starting at 6:20 right here on ESPN New Hampshire. A heartbreaking defeat for the United States yesterday as they fell to Belgium 2-1 in extra time. In the loss, Tim Howard had 16 saves, which was the most in a World Cup match in 50 years. And the Celtics have agreed to terms with restricted free agent Avery Bradley on a 4-year deal. I'm Rich Blair, and the Sports and Updates brought to you by Bud Light. Bud Light, sure sign of a good time.
Christian and King on ESPN New Hampshire, 603-883-9900.
(603-883-9900). Your phone number 883-9900. Shoot us a text over at 50352. Sports Illustrated has come out with a pretty crazy report here, basically saying or implying that A-Rod was granted permission by Major League Baseball to use steroids. Did you catch this?
No.
It's just coming out.
It didn't help.
No, it certainly didn't. From Sports Illustrated, under baseball's performance-enhancing drug policy, players can apply for so-called therapeutic use exemption, or a TUE, to take certain medical substances otherwise banned by Major League Baseball. A doctor appointed by both sides, the Independent Program Administrator, or IPA, reviews all applications. Baseball also has an expert medical panel to advise the IPA. If an exemption is granted, the player cannot be punished for using that substance. The exemption is good for 1 year. Before 2007, Rodriguez asked for permission to use testosterone, which has been banned since 2003. The IPA in 2007 was Brian Smith of High Point, North Carolina, a physician. Baseball did not yet have an advisory medical panel. And on February 16th, 2 days before Rodriguez reported to spring training, he was granted the exemption, allowing Rodriguez to use testosterone all season. The exception was revealed in a transcript of A-Rod's fall 2013 grievance hearing.
Yeah, I bet.
During that proceeding, MLB entered into evidence several exemptions applied for Rodriguez during his Yankees tenure. In his testimony, MLB Chief Operating Officer Rob Manfred called testosterone the mother of all anabolics and said that exemptions for the substance are very rare, partly because some people who have been involved in this field feel that with a young, healthy male, the most likely cause of low testosterone requiring this type of therapy would be prior steroid abuse. And it goes on to say, even after securing the latest windfall, Rodriguez wasn't done seeking exemptions that followed him to boost his testosterone levels with banned substance. In 2008, according to an arbitration hearing, he requested 2 exemptions. Rodriguez wanted to use something called Clomid, a drug designed to increase fertility in women. Where have we heard that before?
Oh.
Manny Ramirez.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Did I tell you that my cousin was unable to have kids, so she started taking Clomid? Still couldn't have kids, but the next season she hit 45 home runs.
I was just going to say,
Yeah.
where is this leading to? Why do I care? I know it. I'm sure this came out in the grievance here. I'm sure there's truth to this report.
Rodriguez
It's
also...
all there. It's all there in documentation that,
Right.
that it happened. What are you going to say? No? You
Yeah.
know? So did they grant him the exception in 2007?
Yes, he was granted it in 2007. And then it says by 2008, Rodriguez had played a significant portion of his career, including at minimum 2 of his 3 MVP seasons, with the help of anabolic steroids and other performance-enhancing drugs, and it was okayed, essentially, by the league.
Probably happened.
Kind of crazy.
It probably happened.
Still not going to
It was okayed by the league per collective bargaining agreement. It was okayed by an arbitrator.
Right.
Baseball didn't want to let him have it.
Right.
But they were forced to.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they weren't forced to.
Well, they were.
It was their choice.
No, it was an arbitrator gives them the ability to do it.
Okay, fine. It was the arbitrator.
In other words, the arbitrator rules.
Right.
So.
I'm surprised that the arbitrator ruled in favor of A-Rod.
Arbitration's a crapshoot. You know.
Still, basically saying I need more testosterone. Well, why don't you have a lot of testosterone, Alex? Well, never mind that. I just want more. Is the point?
Right.
I mean, come on. How naive can you be?
I think exactly. I don't know what their reasoning would be. I have no idea.
That's astonishing. I think.
I know it, and I'm sure this was part of the whole trial and grievance and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but we'll see.
An A-bomb from
I'll tell you what. All the Yankees are. All you read last year and this year. And even the year, how the Yankees, they got to rid themselves of A-Rod. They got to get out of that contract. Well, that's all well and good, but who are you going to get to play third base?
Right.
All right.
Solarte's fell off the face. of the year.
Have a clue here, guys. You rid yourself of A-Rod. It's not a parade day. You don't have anybody good enough to play the position.
True.
He's the best.
And your shortstop's out the door too.
He's the best you got.
I know.
So don't be in such a rush to get rid of him. As I watched Val Nuno give up an RBI, give up a double or a triple with a man on a double. With the third baseman not being able to make a diving play.
It's all right.
Stop
It's 2 outs. Nuno will battle his way out. Nuno's a fighter. Vidal Nuno.
Look at this.
Vidal Nuno's going to start
right over the bag.
Game 1 of the American League Division Series.
Barely fair.
That's your Game 1 starter right there, Tom King.
Could be. Could be for the wild card game.
Right.
For the wild card game. He's it. Wouldn't that be a riot? It comes down to the wild card game.
And they got to toss Nuno out there?
Stuck because they got nobody else.
Yankees versus Red Sox. Nuno versus Buckholz.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Or Nuno versus Peavy would be even better.
He's got to get one more out. He's got runners in the second and third with 2 outs. He gets one more out. It's 8. He's working on 8. He'd be working on 8 2/3 scoreless. And he's got a right-hander up, so let's see.
Dare I say it would be a turning point in Vidal Nuno's career?
It could be.
I believe it would.
In his season, I mean.
Very good. All right, 603-883-9900, your phone number, 883-9900. Coming up in the third and final hour of the program, we'll get back to our soccer talk now that the World Cup is over for the United States.
Why?
All right, fine, then we won't then, Tom.
I don't want to talk soccer.
All right, fine. You know what, Tom? You do the third hour.
What are we going to talk soccer about?
You lead the discussion in the third hour. You don't like my topics? You do it then. I am totally fine not leading the discussion.
Why do you want to talk soccer?
Because what do you want to talk about?
I want to talk about Vidal Nuno.
You want to do
getting out of
the
this
whole
inning.
hour of Vidal Nuno?
Oh, that's
because this inning's going to be over.
We got to do the quiz, aren't we?
We'll do the quiz.
We're doing the quiz.
We'll do the quiz.
All right, let's do the quiz.
At 1 o'clock. It's not going to take up a whole hour. We got to talk about other things too.
We'll find out stuff.
No, you're going to find other things to talk about.
I'm
you don't like what I have to say, then you do it. I will step back for this hour. I'll do the quiz, and you will lead the way the rest of the hour. All right?
I brought up the soccer talk to begin with.
That's true.
Oh.
You crap all over my tees, then that's
Well,
your
I'm not talking soccer.
Well, then you're talking something. I don't care what it is. I'll be here. I'll listen in. I'll make my little comments, but you're leading the charge
Professor.
next hour.
All right,
Don't say that to me. I made a tease and you crapped on it, and this is what you get.
Oh, he hit him. He just hit him.
Well, now it's bases loaded.
He had 1-2 count, and he hits him.
It's almost as if Fidel Nuno's not very good at baseball.
Oh, for crying out loud.
We'll be right back. Christian and King, third hour coming up, and it's all Tom King.
Quiznos Subs in Nashua is now home to the new Southern Barbecue pulled pork subs. Slow roasted pulled pork, mozzarella and cheddar cheese, pickles, mustard, and Quiznos signature barbecue sauce served on your choice of artisan breads. Try the spicy pulled pork sub as well. Quiznos will also cater your graduation party or office meeting, or you can head down and park in their own parking lot, which is key at lunchtime.
Quiznos Subs.